Tabletop Weekly, and we are the partners of Solarian Games. I'm Jason.
And I'm Peter.
And hey, we've got a special guest this week. It's Hambone. Say hello.
Ahoy.
Hey, so this week's stories. Matt Mercer has a new mini-series using Daggerheart. There's a really interesting new war game, or not, I don't know how new, but anyways, there's a great war game called This Quar's War. Chaosium has refunded backers of 7th Sea Khitai. There is, just for Valentine's Day, there is a new Battletech romance called Hungry Like the Wolf.
All right.
We're not going to be talking about the D&D live action show because everybody's talking about it. You already know it, so we just acknowledge it and move on. And John McGuire, that's Hambone, is here to talk about his new book, Avon by the Sea. And as always, if you are watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, please leave a review. It really helps.
It does.
All right. Peter, you want to kick us off?
Yeah. All right. Oh man, it's on the wrong slide, but that's all right. I'll fix it real quick.
That's not it.
I know. There we go. So Daggerheart. Matt Mercer has a new miniseries, and this is going to be as a live action play. So instead of doing what they've been doing with Critical Role, I don't know what I think they're going to call it Grimdark, Age of Umbra. He's going to use his own system. He's not going to use D&D this time.
I don't think anybody on the audio podcast can hear me roll my eyes at the word Grimdark, but okay.
All right. I don't know where that's from. I don't know anything about any of this.
Yeah, it's right up there with Sellsword in the tropes of fantasy.
Sure. So it's inspired by Soulsborne series and Kingdom Death Monster.
Well, that's cool.
Okay, and
that'll actually be really cool.
Yeah, I don't know any of that. I don't know any of this stuff.
Kingdom Death was the huge Kickstarter, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong thing. But anyway, it's exciting news for people that like Critical Role and that want to know what's happening with their new system now that they've kind of made their split with Wizards of the Coast, and they're here to come up with yet another fantasy heartbreaker for everybody.
Yeah, it was rumored, and now it's here. Or it's going to be here very soon. It's a dark, challenging world where gods abandon the realm and survivors must hold on to their community amidst growing darkness. Like we said, it's an actual play miniseries, and it'll be the first Critical Role miniseries use the system, and it's going to be less whimsical. It's going to be a little more serious. Yep. And they're going to talk about it more in the spring. But other than that, that's all we really know.
And hey, in the chat, David Benavides says that he has played Daggerheart, and it's not a bad system. So that's cool.
Well, I would hope not if they're going to do a series on it.
Yeah, and I mean, they set themselves up for this. I feel like it's all been leading to here for them. And kudos to them for doing it, because at a certain point, like, why are they filling Daddy Hasbro's pockets? They've got their own thing. They've got their own brand. They've got a ravenous fan base. So, yeah, let it ride.
Yeah. I mean, dude, they got a TV series.
Yeah, on Amazon.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Although I this is just me, I just get it's so serious. It's so cliched. It's so tropey. Even the TV series. Did you all watch Dan Harmon's D&D series?
Oh, yeah, I did.
That I loved. That was beautiful. It was serious. It was funny. It was animated great. I don't know what happened with it.
I think which series was that?
I forget the name of it off the top of my head. I think there was just a point where everyone had kind of max saturation with Dan Harmon.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
And if they had to pick one, they were going with the moneymaker, which was Rick and Morty. So
okay.
It was a fun thing, but it just didn't have the legs.
I see. Okay.
I mean, because people don't look to Dan Harmon for their fantasy role playing entertainment. That's not the first thought.
Right.
So I get it. That's okay. And this, God love him. Good, all the luck in the world. I'm sure it's going to do great.
Yeah. I would be surprised if it didn't.
Okay. So since I mentioned that I like things that are not your usual thing, we are going to talk about a new-ish war game called This Quar's War that I just heard about. So what we have on the screen right now for people that are listening is the box cover for some of their minis, the Coffetran Infantry. And the Quar are these sort of, I don't know, anteater looking kind of guys in World War I uniforms. They're kind of somewhere in between Muppets and Pink Floyd's The Wall. And what else did you say, Peter?
Wizards.
Ralph Bakshi's Wizards. I mean, they're just so neat looking. It's not fantasy. It's not sci-fi. It's more like a history from a world that doesn't exist.
Right.
I'm going to give you a little quote from their own description, from the creator's description. Quar are just like you and me, perfectly normal creatures bereft of magic or supernatural powers or otherworldly technologies. They do eat bugs, though, and lots of them. Most Quar, when they're not fighting each other over slights, real or imagined, are farmers or traders or merchants. Mostly, they live simple, happy lives full of hard work, ale, and the occasional overeating of moth cakes. But it's a war game, and it's so cool to me because war games don't usually have a sense of whimsy.
Right.
You know? And this particular game is created by Josh Quayler. And so his kind of the name of it is Quayler plus war, you get Quar. He is a video game maker and an animator, and he's worked in film and all these other kind of things. Very interesting background. And he just created this world that's full of lore. For a moment, I thought there might actually be a book for it, but there hasn't been. It's just that there's so much lore that you could write a book, and I hope he does. This particular game comes available in multiple scales. There's 6mm, 15mm, and 28mm. I think 6mm is like, it's not like HO scale like you get with trains. Do you all know?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm not very familiar with wargaming.
I know 28mm is basically the minis that you think of when you think of role playing. Like
28mm is what you normally. The 6mm. I think the 6mm are like the squad. Like they've like it's entire squads on one square.
Yeah. This is where we need Jonathan Reinhardt.
Yeah, I know. And you know what? I'm gonna have to next time I go on Wargaming Recon, I'm gonna have to have a discussion with him about mini sizes to explain it to like idiots like me.
Yeah, because I get a little confused too. But there's a new skirmish version being released with plastic miniatures, so apparently more affordable. And we actually have a picture of some of the new minis that are out in 28mm.
Okay.
One of you all want to describe this for the people who are just listening?
Yeah. All right. So yeah, they're like you said, they look like bipedal anteaters, kind of, and they have, but they're wearing World War I gear, like single shot rifles, like not even semi-automatic. They've got these like metal helmets, like actual metal helmets, and then they're different colors. Like there's green ones and yellow one, and there's a pink one, and they've got dots on them. So I don't know, they're kind of cool looking.
They kind of look like bird-like Muppets.
Yeah.
In a way where like I feel like if you take one of the helmets or the hats off, you would see it probably looks just like Big Bird under there.
I almost feel like in the world of Fraggle Rock, if they had gone up to the right part of the surface, they would have encountered this battle.
Yep.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Oh, and by the way, Brian, you can't even see it. All right, never mind. I'll just read it. Brian Kowalchuk. Sorry, Brian, I messed your name up. It reminds me of Spy versus Spy. And that, yes, it does. Yeah,
for sure.
And I should call out so Brian has been doing some cool stuff with us with Top Secret lately. Brian, he's up in Ottawa, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Brian. And he had taken all. We have these things for Top Secret, extra accessories that we haven't put out yet. Things for managing your action points and hit points and stuff like that. Oh, Kitchener, duh. Of course, we had a whole talk about this, Brian, because like Lord Kitchener. Speaking of World War I. So he modeled these in 3D, and we're going to be making them available soon for people who want to download them and print their own. So really appreciate Brian coming and starting to hang out with us and do some cool top secret stuff. So
yeah,
nice.
And by the way, if it sounds like there's a whistle in my voice or like a lisp, or if you're seeing this on video, yes, I got a front tooth knocked out. So I just decided to come on anyways. I don't know. I was down at the beach. I was just minding my own business with my bicycle. I saw a pretty girl, but then a bunch of guys came up and they were all picking on me and they started doing karate and I fought back, but it just didn't matter. Tooth is gone.
And it's just okay.
It's just the way it goes, isn't it?
It was the popular guy with the bitching Camaro, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Hey, so that's enough of Quar's War. They're really cool. I really want to play this game because you can actually get little skirmish versions where you only use like 6 to 12 miniatures per side. So it should play pretty quick. And then you can play it in bigger, traditional war game type style. I just can't wait to get more into the lore and into this world of Quar. So check it out.
Well, get these by the time we go to Rising Phoenix.
Yes.
And absolutely. We'll play it there.
We will do that.
All right. Sounds good.
Thanks, Jay. Yeah, I'm a total hockey player now.
Right. All right. Chaosium refunds backers a 7th Sea Khitai. Actually, Jason, want to take this one?
Well, sort of.
I can take it.
I'll let you take it, but I just wanted to give my thoughts on it. I thought this was great. I mean, it sucks that it's not going to come out, right? But what Chaosium did is a really good model of what to do if your Kickstarter funds, you get the money, and it turns out you're not going to be able to deliver it. They were such stand-up folks with this. You can go ahead and take it, Peter, if you
So if anyone's not familiar, Khitai is one of the nations in 7th Sea. I've played 7th Sea. I've even played this new version because I backed the Kickstarter when it first came out. Not a big fan of the second version. I like the first version better, but that's beside the point. Chaosium, it was logistics, I think, is what this really turned out to be, because they had they were gonna have 4 books. No, 4, 5, 6, 7 books apparently. Wow. Or seven things. And it's just, I don't know, once you get into publishing and you have to think of the logistics of what it takes to publish, as we have to do on a regular basis. Some things just, you're just going to lose money and it doesn't make any sense. Sometimes it doesn't seem to make sense.
I mean, I don't know. Is it all the tariffs that are going in or something? Is it just like messed everybody up?
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, we're just speculating, so I don't want to speculate. Sorry.
They didn't say. I couldn't find anything. I did look. I was trying to figure out why this was an issue, and the only thing that they've said is that it's not economically viable for them to do this.
Okay.
So, so they did the right thing. They refunded folks. Now they're
take a note to how much they raised. They raised almost $250,000 on this.
Yeah.
This was not chicken feed. So this is a big deal. They're doing this.
And they didn't. Now they're not refunding every single thing because they did deliver some of it. What they're refunding is what they didn't deliver. So, and that's fair.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And they said you can get it through PayPal, which then you'll get, you get your full refund. But now this is really cool. This is even cooler. They said that if you decide to take it as as credit, like in their store credit, you would actually get 50% more. So you would get, let's say they owed you $40. If you took it as store credit, you'd get $60 worth of stuff. And awesome. That's pretty awesome.
A great deal. Yeah, that's a great thank you for trusting us. And here's your money back and some extra.
And then they did say also, as part of their apology, because this is their apology, they're providing all backers with a PDF of Khitai scenario produced by Studio Agate, available in March 2025. So apparently there's a scenario coming out, and anyone who backed this and it didn't go through, they're getting a free copy of that adventure that's coming out. So that's pretty slick too.
So hats off to Chaosium for taking care of their customers.
I've never met a company like Chaosium that has been so just above board with everything and so willing to make sure that they always take care of their customers. Just like, this is a classy move, and I'm sure there are people who are still disappointed with it. And I understand if you back something, you're excited about it, but like, as publishers, there's just certain times you get that thing where like the math don't math.
Mhm.
And
especially when it did, but now it doesn't. Like, and you could go through that with people and say, look, this is why it would have worked before, but tariffs, whatever it is, whatever's going on, stuff changes.
I mean, I've definitely put out books where, when I was new to it, I would just charge a shipping up front. And sometimes I still do, depending on the scope of the project. But, I've been in spots where in the time it took to deliver, the shipping went up twice.
Ooh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it doesn't seem like much, it's a few pennies here and there, but that adds up over every single package that you're going to send. So, like, it's tough.
Yeah, and
not only
in
that,
this industry, there's so many things that change. You can figure the upfront costs, your writers, your artists, and everything else like that. But then the price of paper changes every month. And if you're doing a really big thing like Chaosium does, that makes a big difference.
Especially if, the paper comes from a country north of us that we may have stepped on the toes of a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. So that could possibly raise the cost of paper. So.
Yeah. If you're listening in Canada, we're still available to be annexed here in Connecticut. Just go ahead and I'll sign it over. I think I can just sign the deal.
We love you so much.
I'm pretty sure I'm authorized to do this. So if I'm not, nope, sorry, I went ahead and signed it anyway. So
much as anyone, right?
Yeah.
Why not?
Right?
Why not?
So
anyway, so that's it. Chaosium, they're doing a good thing. Oh, last piece of this. Well, there's two things. So I did go in to your comment. I did go into the Kickstarter announcement and read through some of the comments and stuff. And the general consensus was, "Oh, that sucks, but cool, guys. Good on you." Was pretty much the whole, like, everybody was like that. And this is not the death of 7th Sea. There are plans and good news for the 7th Sea line that will be announced later this year. That's the story.
Right on. All right. So, hey, we're a couple days past Valentine's Day, but I think we are still within the statute of limitations for a Valentine's Day story. So here we go. Up on the screen right now, we have the cover of the latest Battletech book, Battletech Romance, Hungry Like the Wolf. All right. So this released in time for Valentine's Day is set in the Battletech universe, and they didn't skimp here. They got a proper good author, Christina York. She is the author of co-author of Star Trek: The Next Generation, A Sea of Troubles, 2 Alias books, if you remember the Alias TV show, and she has written 3 other Star Trek books in the SCE world, the Starfleet Corps of Engineers books. So very established author, and honestly, I've read as much as I could of the book in the time we had, and I'm going to say a really good author.
So is it like a horny choose your own adventure, or like how does this work?
So this is just a straightforward novel. There's no interactivity in here. I'll give you a little sort of a summary of this. In this book, it's set in the aftermath of war when Terra lies in ruins, and its new ruler, Alaric Ward, that's Alaric we see on the cover here with his shirt off, looking very Fabio, seeks to cement his power as First Lord of the Inner Sphere. But Dr. Darvendra Elstone, a relentless humanitarian, refuses to let the conquerors dictate the planet's fate. As political tensions mount and uneasy alliances form, a battle of wills unfolds between the warlord and the doctor. One seeking dominance, the other demanding justice. Will they kiss?
Oh, all right.
They will. So this is a very classic kind of enemies to partners to lovers trope in this. And I have prepared a dramatic reading
boy.
in this. So are you ready?
Yes, go for. Hold on a minute.
All right. So
yeah.
For anybody who doesn't know, Battletech, we have mechs, and you can sit in the cockpit of the mech and all these kind of things. And in this excerpt that I have ready here, Darvendra has shown up as essentially a prisoner of Alaric Ward. and he offers to bring her into his mech. And here we go. This is the first of 2 dramatic readings. She had far fewer concerns about nudity than many Terrans. Fieldwork in remote locations had conditioned her to accept the loss of privacy as an inevitable consequence of Crescent and Cross's disaster response. With a mental shrug, she stripped off her suit jacket and skirt, keeping on her underwear and sleeveless tunic she had worn beneath the jacket. But the outfit did nothing to disguise her long legs and toned arms. But it was enough to preserve what dignity she was able to muster under the circumstance. She followed Ward back out on the concrete. That's Alaric Ward. She followed Ward back out on the concrete and watched him begin the climb to the cockpit before she started up, following his progress and trying not to look too closely at the sight above her. That's his butt, by the way. I think she's When they reached the cockpit, he motioned her inside while he clung to the doorway. Climbing into the cockpit forced her to squeeze past Ward into the tight space. She held her breath and slid past as quickly as she could, trying to minimize their contact, though it was impossible not to brush against him.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. All right. There's more, though. But before I read more, what do you think so far?
I feel like this is,
I mean, classic Battletech, right? Isn't this the way you play it at the table?
I think Battletech.
This
I'm
is
often
something.
at the table thinking, who can I brush against? I gotta give you the rest of the scene. Are you ready?
Okay. All right. Hold on. Right. Yeah, here we go.
Here we go. The cockpit was tiny, even smaller than she had imagined. Most of the space was taken up by the pilot's seat. It was more like a reclined couch and appeared to be fitted to the user, with curves and restraints, showing a pattern that reminded her of Ward's body. A body she had seen quite clearly just a few moments earlier. Try it. The challenge in his voice was subdued, but it was there, and the glint in his eye as he tilted his head toward the couch told her he knew exactly what he was demanding of her. She thought about refusing, but there was no reason to. She had come this far, and she had to admit she was curious about how the massive machine could be controlled by just one man. Darvendra sat gingerly on the edge of the couch, then drew her legs up onto the surface and turned to lean against the back. The proportions were all wrong for her body, and the curves that would cradle Ward's muscular frame were in all the wrong places for her angular one. But she could feel it would support its owner as it was designed to, which he proved by joining her on the couch. It was uncomfortably snug, his hip pressed against hers and the heat of his torso, warming her in the already overheated space, and far more pleasant than it should be. He nudged her foot. Here, he said, pointing to the pedals. This is how you walk. Darvendra heard the engine thrum beneath her as additional heat rose into the cockpit. Ward moved his feet against the pedals. The movement caused his legs to flex, pressing closer to her, and the rolling motion of the mech's step pushed him even closer. And scene.
Wow. Yeah.
Nice.
There you go.
Oh, hey, David Benavides said, "Oh, you like my PPC?" Nice
Thank you, David.
Thank you. That's a good one.
If this doesn't get played out at a convention somehow, I'm going to be so disappointed.
Oh, I'm sure there's definitely going to be like a live reading at some con somewhere. Some poor dude's going to walk into be like, "Yeah, man, here's a Battletech." Like,
why are your shirts off?
Jay Alexander says, "Why am I sweating?"
Oh, yeah. We got to find a way to play some Battletech.
Yeah, I don't know about this kind of Battletech.
Man, hats off to everybody at Battletech for this one.
That's great.
This is genius. There was $5 well spent. I'll tell you that.
That's cool.
And speaking of money well spent, let's get to the highlight of tonight. Let's talk about something awesome. Let's talk about Avon by the Sea.
Yeah, man, I am super, super excited about this one. For 321 RPG, which is the company that I'm the co-owner of and the co-creator of. For Zine Quest this year, we're putting out and we're funding an adventure called Avon by the Sea, where you play as local teens in a sleepy beachfront town that is well known for vacations, but this is stuff that happens off season when all the vacationers have gone home, in the wake of a massive hurricane, which has cut you off from other towns. Trees are down everywhere. There's flooding. There's a gas crisis. Something is unleashed from the earth that you're going to have to deal with. And of course, who better to deal with it than a bunch of plucky teens?
Oh, this is great. I love that you're still hitting with the kids on bikes kind of theme, going here.
Yeah, it's my favorite. In the end of the day, I love horror.
Mm-hmm.
I love kid adventures. And I like being able to, with George, my partner in 321 RPG, create cool adventures that are the intersection of both. What we're saying is with this one, you have like the kid adventure style of the Lost Boys with the brutal horror. The Kid Adventures of the Monster Squad, the brutal horror of the Lost Boys. So you get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, we were just the other week talking about the Jersey Devil, or the Devil in New Jersey.
Right.
And, this feels in the same universe.
It is. I mean, so Devil in New Jersey was 1993. This is another part of New Jersey in 2012. In the aftermath of the wake of Hurricane Sandy, which kind of got me thinking about how a story like this would work. And even by the Seas, a real place. I've been down there. I spent some holiday time there. Beautiful, beautiful little town, like quaint.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you could imagine Cabot Cove, but instead of in New England, it would be down at the Jersey Shore. It's kind of something in a similar vein, but with much nicer houses. That you'd see on one side of Cabot Cove. And it's a cool thing. Also, and I'm not spoiling anything, we talk about it, and there the boss fight takes place at Dracula's castle at the Jersey Shore, in Wildwood, New Jersey, which is another town. Yeah, massive boardwalk. There was Castle Dracula, which was an attraction from the 70s up until it burned down in I think 2002 or 2003. And it was like a legit haunted house. If they, would, as the years went on, they changed some of the attractions inside, but like the main level was you're going through Dracula's castle. The sub level was a boat ride, kind of like like a Pirates of the Caribbean kind of horror boat ride on the bottom level. So it has a very special place in New Jersey history, and I found the floor plan for it on the
way.
Yeah, so we're gonna zhuzh it up a little bit with our map guy, and when you go for your boss fight in Avon by the Sea, you are going to be fighting Dracula in Dracula's castle.
Is this a place you went as a kid?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I spent most summers when I was young in Wildwood with my family. And in fact, in the Hotel Exorcist, which I think we're dropping the PDF of this week, we needed one more piece of art for this one section in the very beginning, where kind of you get to know the other players by haunts that you've been on together, and you kind of riff on like, oh, you remember that time at the Bigfoot Museum in Nebraska, which is a real place when I've been there. And
where is the Bigfoot Museum in Nebraska?
Hastings, Nebraska.
I'm from very close to Nebraska, and I've never even heard of that town.
So, quick little sidebar. I was a traveling salesman. I sold blenders, and at some point at the end of my traveling sales career,
this is already an amazing story.
I was selling beds, mattresses.
I can't tell you the number of times I've had somebody come to my door trying to force a blender on me. I mean,
I know, right?
Such a trope.
Well, I was one of the premier ones. I was in Costco, so y'all came to me and you're like,
"Oh, okay.
Do I have to spend $500 on a blender?" Yes. But my last loop had me at the Nebraska State Fair, and I was selling mattresses of all things. That's another story. But my thing is, I always wanted to, whenever I go to a town, I want to experience the thing in the town. Like,
yeah.
So there were two things in the town. One, at the museum, they this town that I was in, that's where Kool-Aid was invented.
No.
Yeah, so in the
Okay.
in the town they had a museum, and in the bottom they had the Kool-Aid museum in the bottom level of the museum.
Mhm.
So like I end up there like while the state fair is going on where I was selling beds. I went there before the fair, and I'm like walking around with the mayor,
As
taking
you
the
do.
tour as you do. But the other thing was there is an actual Bigfoot museum, and I wanted to go see that as well. So another day, I go out to find it. Now it's hard to find because you kind of make a right off this one road and you're going, and there's cornfields all on your right, and then there's like tree lined properties on the left, and I'm looking for this sign, and I keep passing it. My GPS is saying it's back that way, it's back that way. So I do the loop a couple times, and I see like this little sign that's kind of obscured by all this like ivy and like brush, and it says Bigfoot Museum this way. So I pull down this road, and I'm thinking it's going to be a building that's a museum, but it ended up being someone's house.
Yes.
And so I pull down this driveway, and there's all these like wood cutouts of Bigfoots like hanging out behind trees and in the bushes and in the distance. And I get out of my car, and I'm like, "Oh no, this is how I die." I was like, "I gotta go."
Oh
And
yeah.
oh hi, hello. And I look up, and it's this woman, and she's painting the front of the house. And she's a nice old woman. Name is Harriet, and she's like, "Are you here for the museum?" And I was like, "Yeah." And
Better be.
my sense of self-preservation kind of in that moment was outweighed by like I can't insult someone's grandma. So
Right.
That's how they get you.
I called my buddy, and I sent him a pin. I was like, "This is where I am." I was like, "If I don't check in with you in exactly 30 minutes, send the Marines." So I go into this. I go up to the porch, and she's like, "So you were a believer?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Yes.
And she's like, "Have you seen one?" And I was like, "No." And she's like, "Yeah, you seen one when you came in, didn't? There's one right there." And I turn, I'm like, "Where?" And I look, and there's a wooden cutout of Bigfoot. And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my God." She's like, "There's one right there too." And I was like, and I look over there too. And I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm in trouble." And and I was like, "Oh," she's like, "So you're gonna come and see the museum?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay." And I was like, "How much is to get in?" I was like, "It's $5." And this is like 11 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, "I only have a 20." And she's like, I don't. I'm like, "You know what? You take that whole 20 for a donation to the museum." I was like, you
Yeah.
know, pay it forward to someone else who doesn't have exact change. Because I'm like, maybe if I give her $20, she won't murder me. So she
Right.
pays me
That's the price often in Nebraska of not being murdered.
Listen, I was gonna do whatever I had to do to make it to the fair that day.
Yeah.
So I go in there, and like she's like got a welcome book, and she's like, "Do you want to sign it?" And I'm like, I signed an assumed name, Thaddeus Moonbeam, the Esquire, and to one room she's got like this room that starts to go into her house, and there's like this big wooden barrel, and it's got all swords in it, and I was like,
Uh-oh.
okay. And so, she brings me in, and like there's all these different stuff. And there's like, legit Bigfoot stuff in there, but there's also like she brings me into this one room, and at the end of the hall there was this big like giant Bigfoot, like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
life-size Bigfoot stuffed and whatever. And like she's showing me, and she's like, "This camera." She's like, "Let me show you this camera." She's like, This is the camera that they, the famous Bigfoot video was shot on." I go, "Oh my God." It's like, "This is the camera?" She goes, "Well, no, it's not the actual camera." She's like, "This is one that I bought, but it was this model camera." And I'm like, "Okay, so here, I'm going to show you something." She's like, "I want you to stand right here." So like I'm standing there, and there's like a closet door that's open, and I'm peeking in the closet. I'm like, okay. So she has me hold the camera, and you have to look down into the camera to see, what's in
Oh,
front.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And so she's like, "Okay, stand right here. I'm going to show you." So I'm at the end of a hallway, and at the other end of the hallway, you can see the front door. And the hallway ends, and there's like the room area here with the swords, this other area here. She's like, "Okay, I'm going to show you how fast Bigfoot was going, and how amazing and such a miracle it was that they were able to catch this thing on
Wait,
film."
she
I'm like,
was going
"Okay,
to be the Bigfoot?
okay." So yeah, she was going to be the Bigfoot, but she didn't put on a costume or anything. She's like, she just disappears on the corner. She's like, "Are you ready?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "You ready?" She's like, "Don't blink." And I was like, this is it. And at this point, mind you, I am now, I think, June, July, August. I am barely 90 days sober. So I don't even have I'm still kind of in it from the night before, and I'm making bad decisions. Like, I'm of sound body and mind, and I chose to go into the stranger's house.
Yeah.
And so she's like, here we go. And then all of a sudden she does that horror movie old lady run. And she kind of runs across the thing. And I was like, oh my God, my phone's going off. And I was like, oh my God, there's a problem at the fair. I gotta go. I handed the camera. I was like, thank you so much. And I was like, I really appreciate it. It was so wonderful meeting you. She's like, oh, please come back. I go, I will definitely come back. And I will tell my friends I gotta go. And I got the hell out of the house. I did like a Fast and the Furious turn out of the driveway. And I went to the State Fair. My buddy's like, how was the Bigfoot Museum? And I'm like, I'm alive, brother.
I made it.
That's amazing.
But I will tell you this. I don't know if it's still there because this was.
I hope it is.
I hope it is too. The woman was nice and truly loved the foot. And I hope it's there. And if you're ever out that way, don't go alone. But definitely go.
I've got to go see me some Sam Squatch.
Yeah, I mean, it was a thing, but getting back to the Hotel Exorcist, we needed a piece, and so the Waterways Motel in Wildwood, New Jersey, was one that was there at every weekend when I was a kid, every summer when I was a kid. So it's not there anymore. 2003, there was like this massive, and Wildwood, for those who don't know, the whole strip leading up from the Wildwood crest of the boardwalk was all old style motels with the beautiful neon lights and whatever. But 2003, someone literally bought them up, tore them down, and now it's it's a fancy town. So I had our artist do a rendition of it for the Hotel Exorcist, so it gets to live forever.
Yeah. So Jayson, if you've never been to Wildwood, and I haven't either, but I've had people tell me about it. My understanding is it's a lot like Ocean City, Maryland.
Yes.
Okay.
Very much so.
Okay.
Very much.
That works. That works. No, I really do appreciate, the ability to bring back something that you love in an adventure and, to put something like, okay, so maybe Dracula's Castle was gone in 2003, but in your game, it's still there.
Yeah. And it's just in a different area. And also one of the things I got from growing up and going to these places was that, New Jersey is a beautiful cultural melting pot. But we also in the summertime, when you be down at the boardwalk, you'd hear all these amazing accents among the kids. And what it was is kids from other countries their families who own stuff over here would bring them over. They have programs like, oh, you want to go to America and dig around for the summer and work on the boardwalk? And everyone would be I'd love to do that. So a lot of kids from Ireland, Egypt, Scotland, kid from France would come over and hang out and enjoy a summer at the Jersey Shore, and it's everything that Bruce Springsteen said it was.
No, that is such a good time. I mean,
in Ocean City, they actually bring people over. I know from Eastern Bloc because they all have. I'm not sure exactly where, but it's the accent.
For sure.
The Eastern European accent.
Slavic.
But half the people working there have worked there. They're brought over for the summer to do the work.
That's a fun summer job.
Yeah,
That's
it
a
is.
great summer job. So these kids who are in this town are these are local kids. When all the Bennies, which is the slang term for Bergen, Essex, New York. There's definitely various different versions of it, but basically people who come from northern New Jersey and insert themselves in these towns where people definitely live year round and are just entitled vacationers. Now you're dealing with a different type of entitlement, and it's a monster, an ancient evil that's come back. It is going sick house on your town.
Is this using then the 3-2-1 horror rules?
Yeah, so and it's so funny that you brought that up the other week because my buddy George, and he says thank you, by the way, because he appreciated that you loved the music.
That George,
okay.
I've actually been listening to it. I want him to make an album of that. I want to buy it.
He definitely wants to. He's a dad though, so there's definitely the times that he has to get stuff done. But so we made a lot of mistakes as publishers. Most of the mistakes were mine. Coming up. So when we started 3-2-1 Action, we were like, oh, and we, it's all one umbrella. It's all 3-2-1 action, but we'll have like ones that are horror, ones that are fantasy, ones that are this, ones that are that.
Yeah.
But along with the name, that also created brand confusion as well. So we've been trying to just rectify that. Everything is 3-2-1 RPG.
Okay.
And the book might be a horror book. The book might be a vehicle battle book. But, 5 years later, you learn a lot.
Okay. Because I honestly wasn't really. Here was my impression of it. I didn't know what the difference was between them. And I'm like, it seems like the same rules. I think this is just another word to describe the setting. I think I'm using the same rule set.
It's actually, it absolutely is the same rule set. There's just certain gimmick rules. Like there was horror rules that were not in the regular like rule book that we had put out at the time that deal with running a horror style adventure with 3-2-1 RPG. Just like, in Children of Uma, there was vehicle combat rules as well. And there's gonna be some like rules for like using dinosaurs after we put out the Hotel Access, we'll be hot on its heels going to be doing Death by Dino, which is the other thing that we have outstanding currently. But yeah, man, I mean, I love this stuff. I ran Devil in New Jersey for Brian Shutter, the Neon Lords Neon Con yesterday.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that. How was the Neon Con? I didn't attend.
It's awesome. I'm going to tell you when he does the next one in June.
Okay.
I highly encourage you to run a game of Top Secret, because we had Wolf Manzilla running Dick Wizards. I ran Zombie Brain Eaters. I ran 3-2-1 RPG Devil in New Jersey. There were people running different Neon Lord games, but the cool thing is that everyone was jumping from game to game. So there are people who were like, yeah, I love Neon Lords, but I heard about 3-2-1. I always wanted to try 3-2-1 RPG. So jumped over there. People were like, oh man, I came to play your game, but I've always wanted to try Neon Lords, and I tried Dick Wizards this morning. And so there's always people who are going to be crossing over. It was well attended, and there was, I want to say there was like 8 or 9 games run through the course of the day, and then he did a watch along. I forget the movie he did. He watched along last night, but it was a rousing success. Yeah.
How did they do the watch along?
I don't know. I mean, Brian,
there's like that Netflix party or whatever it's called.
I don't know. He did it, I think, through the Discord. I'm not sure how.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah, I mean, it was Brian's idea, and it was well executed. So yeah, I'm telling you, when he does the next one, hit him up. Try to run a game.
Are you going to be running some things at Game Face?
No, Game Face. I'm just kind of going to hang out. I might run something off the books at night.
Yeah. So we should let folks that are listening know about Game Face. I think you can still get a ticket, right?
Yeah, Game Face. I don't think it's tickets. I think you just go. So Game Face, Justin Sears of Severed Books. This is the second year he's doing it. Game Face is down at Peabody Heights Brewery, which has an awesome arcade and an awesome pinball room. People will be all different kind of game companies who are like our level, indie game publishers. People are running games. People are selling their books. It's going to be happening March
8th. I got it right here.
March 8th and March 9th.
Yeah. I'm going to be coming down. I will be running some Top Secret. I'm running a new.
Oh, great.
I'm running a new mission that is not finished yet. I'm still writing it, but I'm super excited about it. It's called Damn Fine Minivan.
Love it.
And actually, sorry, it's called Damn Good Minivan. And it's we were just kind of saying, writing things in places that So it is set in Des Moines, Iowa.
Love it.
And all the agents are going to be undercover as moms in the local PTA as they try to uncover an agro-terrorist plot. And we're even going to have a little thing in it because Merle Rasmussen, who created Top Secret back in 1980. This has been my favorite game since before Dungeons and Dragons. I played Top Secret, right?
That's awesome.
And I actually used to go shopping at the store that Merle worked at in Des Moines.
Wow.
And so we're going to put a little Easter egg in this, which is that the station, the icon station for the local spy agency, is going to be hidden in the back of the old game store where Merle used to work.
That is incredible.
You can go back. You can go back into the back and find the administrator, and it'll be Merle. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, you're gonna have them draw Merle in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And because we've got some good drawings we've already done of Merle for other things, so we can use them in the book. But in the game that I'm going to be running at Game Face, I can guarantee that there will be an opportunity to kit out your minivan with some good James Bond gear and have a chase through the cornfields.
The best. That's the best. Yeah. I mean, I love RPGs, man.
So
I'm so excited you're gonna be there. That's great.
Yeah. No, I can't wait. So for the your off the books thing, you're gonna run some 3-2-1, you think?
Yeah, or zombie brain eaters. Something,
Okay.
something fast and easy. You know what? Like a con like that, it's I want to catch up with people. I want to see people.
Yeah.
I want to because it's only like a certain amount of hours a day. I want to play video games. But yeah, I kind of want to be able to play with my friends. So
yeah. I can't wait to see you there and roll some dice.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I decided this time I'm not gonna run anything. I'm just gonna go and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's in my backyard. So
yeah, finally something you can just drive to.
Yeah, I know. I live in Bel Air, just north of Baltimore.
Oh yeah, you're like right down the road for sure.
Yeah.
So this is great. So Avon by the Sea is still running on Kickstarter, right?
Yeah. So if you're watching, there's 11 days left, fully funded. Of course, we want to make as much money as we can. So if you haven't backed it yet, please feel free to do so. Yeah, I mean, it's Zine Quest. We're doing a short one. So we launched it on, we actually just launched it this week on the 11th, and we're going to the 28th. So we are on Kickstarter for Zine Quest.
Excellent. So back this. It's going to be great. I can't wait to play it.
Hell yeah. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. That's it for this week. We've talked about stuff. We're done.
Yeah. Right. Oh, next time you're going to see us. Hold on.
Big thing. Yeah.
Next time you see us, we're going to be doing the Golden Fez Awards at TotalCon.
Awesome.
Yes. So we'll be live streaming it.
Yeah, we're live streaming it.
So I guess that I don't know. Maybe that'll replace. No, we'll probably still do the Tabletop Weekly afterwards because we're going to live stream that next Saturday night at 11 p.m. All the finalists have been contacted so that they know to tell people to watch. And some people might be there in person, some people might not. But we'll be giving away all the different awards in the different categories, as well, of course, as the Game of the Year award. And looking forward to that. Got some nice plaques made up and everything.
Yeah, it should be good. We've been my buddy and I, Mike, have been testing out equipment and stuff. So the stream should go great.
So everybody, come and see us at TotalCon. There is a dedicated Solarian room, so you can find us pretty easily.
Awesome.
And it's going to be a blast.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody. And we'll see you in person for some of you and everybody else on the internet next week.